Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Elite Real Estate Podcast. I am super excited about my guest this morning. Can't wait to bring her on here in a second. You know what? Let's just do it right now. Miss Michelle Saward, how are you, my friend?
I'm well. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. We got to get through that intro all the time, but it's always good stuff. So, I appreciate you being on with me this morning. We've been trying to do this for a while to get the Queen of Downriver on the show. And it's schedule wise and everything else, trying to put this thing together. But I'm glad we have it now. So I'm excited to have you on this morning, and thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I'm excited too. You're right. We have been dancing around the swimming pool of getting together for honestly, I think years now. No kidding.
Yeah,
years.
Yeah, I think it is years. We've been at different events where we had you on, sort of like little blurps here and there, but no, we needed to sit down with you for an hour. You've done some pretty incredible things in this industry, and again, super proud to be able to call you a friend too. But you've done some incredible things in this industry, and now you got to get the secrets out.
There we go. Yeah, I agree with you, Jimmy. Over the years, like just meeting at events and things like that, I wish you closer. I wish you lived closer.
Yeah, right. Oh man. So you are if for those of you that don't know, Michelle, how long you've been in the business?
It'll be 25 years in March.
Wow.
Yeah. So since 2001.
See, because you started when you were 10, right?
Yes. No, I started when I guess I got to do backwards math on that. But yeah, so I was 24 when I started in real estate. So I had a mortgage. I had another job before this. Like I didn't come out of the box from high school, which I've just met some people doing that recently. But yeah, not enough life experience, but a little bit.
Yeah. But the will and the want to, right, to build something for yourself.
Yeah, well, I think of that. I don't know who originally coined it, but I think of that phrase from Napoleon Hill. It's in his book, Think and Grow Rich. It's like burning the ships at the shore.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what happened for me getting started in real estate. I had a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday corporate job that had its own cubicle, and got laid off after 9/11, and did not interview any real estate brokerages or companies, but I did have my license because part of my former job, I wanted to get out of the cubicle environment and it would require me to get a license. So I'm really dating myself. I worked for Nextel, leasing, zoning, and land acquisition. Nextel, push to talk. That's what I said.
Bleep, bleep.
Beep, beep. Yeah. So I was essentially the transaction coordinator for the construction division, which I know exactly what that work is like. I've done it. Tracking and even, for their leasing and zoning and land acquisition. And I just thought, if I get my real estate license, I could be the guys out in the field. Well, I can't be the guy part, but I could be, I could nowadays.
Yeah, whatever, right?
But I could be out in the field, and that job seemed more fun to me than, being in the office. And so I had my license, and then 9/11 happened, and we got laid off. And so I just showed up at a couple real estate offices and said, hey, y'all, I got 40 hours. I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. It's funny, most people I talk to, most agents, like obviously I was in the corporate world before this, and but so many people I talk to that are agents, there's a very few far in between that were like, oh yeah, I've always dreamed about being a real estate agent. You know what I mean? There's not hardly very many of those.
No. I got my degree, just so you know, I have a degree in anthropology, which is the study of
I did not know that. And you have a degree in anthropology?
Clearly useful in real estate, right? Yeah. Yeah. But once I've soon discovered, like after being in real estate for many years, is that with a minor in history, right? So anthropology, study of human origins, a minor in history. And so what I realized in that is that what I enjoy the most is the human story. I love to learn about like, okay, what makes people tick, why people made these decisions, where they come from, where are they going. Yeah, you froze for a second. So
Oh, yeah.
hopefully that
Yeah, no, we're
hopefully it went
good.
through.
Yeah, it did.
Mhm.
It did. And then again, because and it is, it's a people business, right? Like, you have
Yeah.
to get to know your clients. You have to get to know the realtors on the other side, right? You have to create and nurture these relationships of because again, like, I always caution realtors with other agents. Oh, this agent's a jerk and this one's that and this. I'm like, well, listen now, you're gonna have to deal another one with them at some point, right?
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
you're right. The study of people is so important because now we talk. Then you can really get. That's another subject you could get totally lost in, right? Because you can go down the disc profiles. You can start looking at their all the different things of people, right? And figuring out what that looks like. So you're right. It is a study of people, really. Our real estate
And it's
businesses.
real estate business. Yeah, absolutely. And when you sit and talk with a client, I don't care if it's buyer or seller, it's like you get to, and Jimmy, being a coach, like you get to like also jump into their life, jump into their point in the game where they're, whatever they're, they're playing, whatever inning they're in, right? And
Yeah.
you get to say, okay, what motivated you to be where you are now? What's motivating you to get to where you want to go next? And then you think about that from like the big human evolution standpoint. You think about like migrations of people across continents. Like what compelled them? Was it war? Was it famine? Was it a job transfer?
Right.
Was it?
Right.
So I don't know. So I didn't realize it at the time when I was studying that stuff, but that's what interests me. And it's funny because now that I'm older, I always had like an interest in short story, and I'm starting to do more now just for fun with short story.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, myself, like, how can we use more short story to compel people? So,
I love that.
mm,
I love that.
yeah,
And what was the most transactions you did in a year?
the most I did in a year, 201.
Oh man.
There's such a story around this though, Jimmy. Oh my God, don't even. Yeah,
Yeah. But
201.
people don't understand is like 200, 201, 200, 100 is a lot, right? Like 100 is a lot.
Yeah, I say honestly, like a full-time excellent agent does like 40 transactions a year,
Yeah.
like ish, plus or minus, right? That's like totally respectable, 100% respectable, And so I was stuck when I say I did 200 transactions a year for many years in a row. It's because the truth is I would do 189, 192, 196. Like there were so many years that it just was like, "Ugh, I wrote that many deals. I sold that many deals. I sold just to do those numbers, right? Because you have fallout no matter who you are or what you
No
do,
matter what.
right?
Yep.
No matter what. And but I couldn't ever quote unquote, break that number the way that I had been doing things.
Okay.
And so it's the year that I went to 201 was the year that I ended up the whole team was just scrapped after that. Like it was just blown to bits and gone, and then you get to rebuild and start over again. So, but
Well,
actually really good.
there was probably a lot of lessons in that, right? Like there's
Oh,
probably a lot of lessons in that, right?
brother, like let me tell you, like so many lessons. Oh my God, so many lessons. Like you think, like during that catastrophe, it was 6 months of. It was bigger than just business, though, of blowing up. It was personal friendships of what I thought to be a lifetime. It was who I thought were friends of mine, people who like neighbors and I mean, my real estate business, everything was like intermingled, right?
Right.
It was my friendships, relationships, business, everything was just commingled, which so it was a big for me. It was a huge deal, and so you think that what kept me going every day during that time was like I would literally put my feet on the floor, and we've all been through those dark times where you're like, oh my God, you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm in this. Feels like Groundhog Day. I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm in this. And then the next thought would come. And the next thought is, well, if I'm feeling this low, then I'm going to be going way high because that's how balls bounce, right? The harder you freaking pounce it down, the harder it's going to bounce up.
Yep.
And I would think, then my next thought was like, okay, so I know for a fact that you learn the most lessons in pain. And now I'm super curious. How am I going to need all these lessons in my future? Like, I'm really curious about the unfolding. What the hell do I need to learn right now? Wow. How am I going to apply this knowledge in the future?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that curiosity would like compel me out of bed and just continue to show up. And during that time, my peak performer did a maximum of 4 transactions a year at that time after what was left. And so that's actually my most proud year because we did 100 transactions with a top producer doing 4 deals. And I did not increase my production during that time. I was just able to continue to elevate people to perform. So it was good.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that too. I can remember like even the years of coaching, right? Like the years you have the years I've had a really good team, right? They have best players, everything else. Those are pretty easy years. You know what I mean? Like, and then you have all this success, and it's because you have all this success, right? Then there's those years where you get players that I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these guys this year. We're going to figure this out. And you kind of you're kind of okay, you're better than you should have been, right? You're going to get some wins here that you probably shouldn't have. And I always say, I always joke and I go, those are the years that, you should have won coach of the year, right? Not the year you win everything. The year you win everything is like, I just had the best players. It's those years you get people to elevate that normally don't elevate, and that's what, you've done and I think that's probably the biggest learning lesson you had, right? Is like, how do I get people to elevate themselves to care more? Because sometimes as a leader too, this all too well. If I want it more than they do, that's a problem. Yeah.
That's a bad problem.
Yes.
That's such a bad problem. And that was actually my responsibility in all of this. That's my ownership. 100% is that I spent a good majority of my real estate career in my life dragging people along, kicking and screaming who never wanted it. Yep. But I am the kind of person that goes, I see the potential in this and you and what can be done. And I got a good idea. Follow me. And in the working genius, I'm what's a galvanizer. So I can like sell people on, the vision. And I would sell the vision and then they would get into it, maybe for several years, maybe a decade, maybe more. And it felt so freaking heavy to me, carrying people who didn't want the same things I wanted. And more than a decade, actually. And I did that to myself. I put extra weight on myself, extra stress on myself, extra drama in my ecosystem. I did that. And I wasn't really listening the way that I should have been listening to people. And so now I hear people totally different. I feel liberated and free. I feel lighter. I'm happier. I'm like, I am just so incredibly, deeply grateful for all of it. Deeply grateful.
Yeah. And it's an amazing transition, right? Like that lifting off of that heavy weight. And it's the weight we put on ourselves, right? Like it's literally what we do to ourselves. Again, what people don't understand as leaders is you're taking all the responsibility, you're taking all the pressure, you're taking all the things to try to get to support everybody. With Mark, and I've had this conversation with a whole bunch of other leaders, right? Of now you feel responsible for.
Your mic just. Okay, say that again. You had this conversation with Mark.
Yep, yeah, with Mark and everybody else, but people don't understand the pressure because now you have employees that are counting on you to pay them. You have not realtors who are expecting you to give them leads, right? they really mean clients. You're giving them leads. They really are think you're giving them clients. But there's an added pressure and an added level to that for in a leadership role. And so let me ask you this, how did you get past from like letting that weight off? How did that finally come to fruition of like, I feel better, I feel lighter, I feel good now?
So, how did I get to I feel lighter, I feel good now? Oh God.
Yeah.
Now people feel like she's a weirdo. So how did I get to that? A couple things. Well, oh God, I could take this conversation in so many directions. A couple things. How did I get to feeling lighter and more free and grateful for it now? There is a song called Ho'onoponopono, and it's by the Emmett sisters. You can get it on Spotify. And Ho'onoponopono, which if you don't know me, I've been to Maui a lot, like upwards of 24 times, upward, probably. See, I'm not kidding, that's twice a year. So that's a Hawaiian prayer. That's along the lines of, and I might be getting the order wrong. I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you. It's a prayer. And so they took that messaging. It's not a Hawaiian song, but they took that message of that prayer and they put it into a song. And I just sat with it and meditated a lot until I really feel all the words of that song. So it was a lot of deep inner work, not kidding. I was journaling, I was processing. And so when I really like got to the point of saying, so I'm sorry, I forgive you. Okay, that's hard. Then, then thank you and I love you. Those are like way elevated to get from the point of pissed off and angry. Those are like way elevated on that scale. And then when I could actually get to that point, I knew I was in an okay place to talk about what happened. But I was absolutely not prepared before that to talk about anything, because I didn't want to say something that came out of anger, hate, resentment that came out of my lips that I couldn't put back in a box. So this is actually the first time I think I've talked about it on any platform publicly. Only because you're asking the questions and enough time has passed, I think. But I also feel very comfortable with you. So, but I had to do that. And I did get to run into some of those people thereafter. And I got to look them in the eyes and say, thank you so much for liberating me. Like, thank you. I mean, really, I've done plant medicine a few times, which is ayahuasca for those who don't know. And shout out to Rhythmia and my buddy Kevin Call, and my husband who introduced it to me originally. This is many, many years ago before it ever happened. I was in the medicine. And if you're familiar, you're like, okay, I was in the medicine.
I'm familiar with plant medicine. It may be a little bit different than what you're talking about.
A little different. Yep. All right. Yours. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can buy yours probably legally.
Yeah. It comes in a gummy now. Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy yours in gummy bear form. Right. Exactly. Gummy form. But in that medicine, I felt Mother Ayahuasca pull this heavy armor off of my back, and I felt liberated and free. And then she sort of snickered, and I was like, oh my God, thank you. Wow. Whoo. Like it was a physical feeling of having, you know, how you're wearing a heavy pack far too long. You're like, oh God, that was good to get it off me. And she laughed and said, are you sure about that? And I was like, no, I'm sure. And she put it back on my back for like a hot minute. And I was like, no, take it off. Come home. Boom. Implosion. And it was like, careful what you ask for because you're about to get it.
Right.
And this is crazy. This is so psychosomatic. There's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. I don't know who wrote it. It's in my book. It's in my audible. And it's about how things manifest in your body. And whenever I would go for a massage, you know how the massage therapist asks you, so where? And like you might be like, oh, my calves, or oh, my shoulders, or whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
I was always like, oh, my neck, my shoulders. And it occurred to me this year, getting a massage, I don't ask for that anymore. I don't ask for, can you get my shoulders? Can you get my neck? And I came out of a massage just a couple months ago, and I was like, dude, she rubbed my neck and my shoulders. It's just part of the whole body thing. And it wasn't even like an area of focus. It wasn't even something that I was excited to release or worried about. And so it's so crazy how real stresses in your life can show up physically in your body. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
nuts. And you're unaware of them. So like, how do you untangle that if you're not even conscious of it? You can't. It's crazy.
It's very true. It's
Crazy.
very, very true. Tara Chody said Michelle is the best.
She is the best too. And I love Tara. I wish she lived closer too.
But you said some things about, I forgive you, I love you, right? Like all those things. But
Yeah.
those are things you had to speak to yourself too, right?
Oh yeah.
And I forgive
Yeah.
you, right? That's some self-talk too, right?
Yeah. But it's yeah, and forgiving myself 100%. 100%. Yeah. And being aware of, I'm not completely aware of all my role. There's no way I could be, because I don't have the same eyes and life experience of everybody that was involved. There's too many different perspectives for me to fully understand all of it.
Sure.
I never will. And even if someone tried to communicate it to me, I still wouldn't completely understand it ever. There's no possible way. People say stuff to us all the time that is illogical as much as they try to describe it. And there's just, so I'm never going to understand it completely and fully from all perspectives. I'm not. And it's fine, because it all happened for good, I believe, for everyone involved. Everyone.
And I think you're right. And I think in hindsight's always 2020, right? Like you can always look back. Like when you're in it, it's hard, right? When you're in the mix of it and everything's happening and there's this chaos in your life kind of happening, like it's hard to see that it's going to be okay then. Right now, looking back, you can probably say, all right, we're good. It was kind of better for everybody. Everybody kind of moved on, whatever. We're all in better spots. Great. And so that it's a good thing. And again, there's a thing in business, and it's we call it the valley of despair, right? Like, because we love, especially real estate agents, we love that dopamine hit, right? Like we love that. We just changed brokerages. We just did this. We just did this. Like we love that dopamine hit of like that thing. But then it kind of goes in what was called like the valley of despair. And the valley of despair is right before the hockey stick moment, right? That's right before everything just takes off. And a lot of times what we skip is the hockey stick, because we need the dopamine hit to go right back to make us feel good again. So you went through the valley of despair. Then you had that hockey stick moment of like, I feel good now. Business is back to normal, right? I feel great. Everything's good. We're moving along. I've got the right people on the right bus, on the right seats. Right. Like, but there is that moment of like, I just hit the wall, and again, but I think that happens. It happens to everybody in business. It's just, it's one of those things that it's, it sort of happens because sometimes what happens is you're doing 200 homes a year. What people don't understand is you're just running, right? You're just all the time. You're just running and not looking around.
No one can get sick. No one can go pee. We don't have full bladders, and we can't, but so nobody can, you can't miss a beat when you're doing that.
No.
And you're just running hot all the time. It's high intensity, high stress. So it's just I don't run at that pace anymore. And not even close. And we did 155 transactions last year. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm now only doing, what did I do? Like 35 deals myself now. Like it's significantly different for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it feels good, right?
It feels really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It feels
it
good.
does. It feels, and I can, um, and it's so crazy. Maybe I've gone to the far extreme end of it, but like, I've had people say, "Hey, I'm going to leave your team," and I just go, I don't even question it. I don't argue. I don't even try. I just go, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, you got to stay, and here's why. And let me tell you this, how valuable you are and how great this can be. So like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Because again,
there's probably a book out there somewhere that I should find, but I don't.
maybe, but
I,
yeah, if you're happy, right, at the end of the day,
uh,
that has to be the most important thing anyway, right? Like
yeah,
is Michelle's happiness, right? Like that there has to be something to be said about that. Um,
yeah.
but do you find it? Have you figured like have you found being able to leverage more people too, right? Like leveraging the group and the people that like look. I feel super blessed with who we're surrounded with. Like
Oh, oh,
I'm a
yes,
business.
I agree.
You know, you and I are business partners. With Kurt and business partners, right? Z's a business part. Like with Al,
Yeah,
like all these people that we're surrounded with. It's like you start to look around. It's like, wow, this is an all-star team.
yeah, yeah. We do. Like we do have such a great ecosystem, and it's not even just locally. It's globally.
Yeah,
Honestly, with our brokerage, like if I just think about my great partners in Ohio, and I think about my great partners in California and New Jersey, and I just like just the coolest people.
yeah,
North Carolina, shout out all you North Carolina and South Carolina. Shout out to everybody that's, touched my life in some way. Cause I, every time I'm around these people, and I'm giving a shameless plug to EXP Realty right now. I don't even care. Every time I'm around them, it's an elevated, powerful conversation. And it's, I just came back from the 50th year anniversary of Mike Ferry, like literally last week, and got to spend some time with those people who have been in my world for 25 years,
yeah,
because I got into coaching immediately when I got into real estate. And I left there not as connected to the Mike Ferry work as I had been in the past. Why? Because I've climbed the mountain of knowing what to say and what phone calls to make and how to do it and how to convert. Not as connected to that piece of it, but more than ever, feeling so grateful for the people that I've been able to connect with over the years through, organizations. And I think that that's what's really important, is that those relationships are built over time. Just like building a business, you're not going to build these like long-term lasting committed relationships unless you put in the time.
no, yeah,
And
that's it. I mean, yeah,
it's showing.
yeah,
Like you live over an hour away from me, Jimmy. Over an
yeah,
hour. It's a little far. You live a lot, like maybe an hour and a half. I don't know. And and uh and I see you when we both commit to driving 45 minutes.
yeah, right,
um, but I would have never met you even an hour and a half away if it hadn't have been for, this organization.
right. Right. And again, like we were talking just briefly before the show, with Nick Krem down in Ohio. Like again, now that ecosystem it just keeps growing, right? I mean, it just keeps growing. Like, I bring up Austin Chevron all the time. Like Austin's in Indiana, and
Yeah.
Austin's just in our ecosystem because he's an EXP. He's not,
Yeah.
he's not
Yeah.
connected anywhere. It's just because he's with
No.
EXP.
Right. Right.
And he's
That's what
Austin.
I'm yeah. And so what I think, and I'm guilty. You said this earlier, like having the blinders on. You said this. That was exactly my metaphor. Is that when I was in selling 130 homes myself, which by the way is funny, little parentheses here. That's the number Al Abdullah tapped out at That's the number Tina Call tapped out at. That's the number I tapped out at. Like that seems to be right around the magic number where you can't do more than that personally, period. It's a damn near impossibility. And if somebody's done it, I mean, you deserve respect because I don't know. It was a lot of things were not going well at that time in my life when I was doing that kind of production. A lot of things fell by the wayside. Like friendships and, marriage was hard and, anyway.
Yeah, it makes a lot of things a lot harder.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But about having blinders on, I was just so linear focused on what do I need to do? What do I to keep this thing going and where am I at? That I had no idea until I got to eXp Realty in 2018. So if you think about that, from 2001 to 2018, I was unaware that there was any other path to success because my world was so small. I had a team of 4 people doing 190, whatever, pick a random stupid number deals. I don't care if you pick 192 or 196, we were there. 4 people, didn't see any other path, which has its benefits when you have the blinders on, that you're linear focused on what you want to drive and do. But there's also the super importance of like picking your head up once in a while and looking around. And when I finally picked my head up to look around, I was like so dismayed at all the other paths and opportunities that I hadn't even considered. It was shocking to me. Like when I first, I called Mark. No one's ever recruited me, which means there's probably a piece of my personality that is repelling to people, or they would have called recruit me. But I called Mark because we worked together at Coldwell Banker and said, "What is this you're doing now? What is this EXP thing? What is this? What's up?" And when I started to be exposed to like, here's what's going on and here's what other people have been doing for that decade that you had blinders on, I was like, damn it. Like I was a bit mad. I was a bit like, I didn't know. I had no idea. And I think it's super important to take those pauses and to explore. And then you can decide, continue this course or switch gears. But to be, that closed-minded and so hard on a track it's a little too rigid for what's available. There's usually an easier way.
And you're so spot on of like you're just running, right? Like you knew one way to do this, right? You knew how to sell a bunch of houses. You knew what you had to do it, and you were just running through everything to do it. And I think it's a testament to you to even say this now, right? Because like it's like the coal miner, like down in the mine, all of a sudden you popped out of the mine, like, hey, what's going on out here?
100%. And I was like, I found myself in a spot where I was like stuck. I was exhausted in 2018. I remember the video. Hi Tara. And she remembers the announcement. Yeah. We were so energized. But yeah, I did. I popped out of the coal mine, and I did. I looked around. I felt at my last brokerage, I just knew I was exhausted and I needed to scale again, because I was stuck and I couldn't break 200 transactions. And I knew I needed to scale and grow. And I started to pick my head up to look around like, okay, what's going on here? What have I resisted that I probably just need to surrender and embrace? And what I resisted was watching my buddies who I came up in the business with, Jeff Glover, Mark Z. Like it was so crazy. This office we were in together back then. Ken Posick was in that office. At that same time, like there's just so many legends in that office at the same time. Kathy Schweitzer, she freaking powerhouse that Northville office. It was crazy.
What was the production in that office? I mean,
it was insane. insane. But we were younger, so we weren't doing hundreds at the time, but we were doing a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And you'd have to ask her. She would be a great one to talk to. What we were doing, but what they created it was incredible. And I learned a lot at that time. But when I did pick my head up, I was like, all right, what have I resisted and what have I not wanted to do? I didn't want to build a team. I was like, I saw all these people on stage talking about, actually what would happen is I'd go to these Mike Ferry conferences and they'd be up on stage talking about how great it is to sell hundreds of homes. And then I would catch them at the happy hour after having 2 cocktails. And then the truth would come out about how hard it was and terrible it was. And I remember one moment, it didn't even involve alcohol. I came to the retreat, you check into your room, you go down to the pool, get a cheeseburger at the swim up bar.
Yep.
Is what I was doing. And this lady sitting next to me at the bar, waiting for her cheeseburger. She's like, what do you mean your attorney is involved? How come I didn't get a phone call? Why am I just finding about this now? And she got up off of her little bar stool in her bathing suit and she swam away and got out of the pool. And the server put the burger down and looked at me and was like, she coming back? And I was like, oh no. And in that moment, that little window, I was like, why the hell would I ever want to do that?
Yep.
Why would I ever want to do that? I don't want to ruin, I already work hard enough. And in these small little windows of time where I can jump in the pool and eat a cheeseburger, it gets ruined by somebody who didn't have the mindset to call the broker first. And suddenly it's elevated to the point of attorneys. No thanks, man.
Yeah.
No thanks. I got enough on my plate.
Yep.
And broker. And now I have a team. And now I have, all these things that maybe you thought you weren't ever going to do or consider. When I came over to EXP, I saw a totally different way for it to function and to work. And it opened my eyes to oh, so you mean that lawsuit wouldn't fall on me? Oh, so you mean there's somebody else to feel that call when it gets to that level? Oh, you mean I had a whole new shift in perspective around what it means.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you because I think we've all had that same, any of us that have gotten into leadership in this business, I think we've all had that same thought process, right? I want to be the broker and I want to open my own brokerage and I'm going to do this all myself. And I don't want anybody else, until you start doing it all yourself. And then you realize I can't eat the cheeseburger at the swim up bar because I'm going to have to answer this call from an attorney. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the biggest points of emphasis for everybody that's listening, either now or later, but it's that how do you leverage, right? And leverage your time and leverage your stress, because that's what that there's the time vampire is your stress. And that's one of the things you figured out is how can I take some of this off of me, right? With people I trust, right? Again, because I still want it handled correctly. But I feel that's one of the biggest things that we're all starting to realize is I can give some of this stuff away. I don't have to do it all myself.
Yeah. Yeah. That you have a team to support you in this process. And I think, when I hear people say now, I want to get my broker's license and I want to, have my own office and I want to, I've seen super successful people do it with none of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Go Beth Key and give her a big shout out. If she's got her broker's license now, I don't know. She's debating finally now getting a bricks and mortar location, but for other reasons, not because it's around sales. But she is scaled to a tremendous height with, not having those things. I can go down the list of people who do not have a broker's license, and do not have have an office, and through the support that they've got, it was not even necessary. That's what I'm saying. There's easier paths and there's easier ways. I think I did it in 2018 to get my broker's license. It's so funny. Because legally to advertise my location, you have to have a broker's license in the state of Michigan to advertise your location.
Yeah.
And so I spent $11,000 on a sign for my building, and I didn't have my license yet, my broker's license. So I couldn't put the sign up until I passed the test. So I was like,
You kind of did that backwards.
Yeah, but that's again burn the ship ashore, like that's that mindset of like going all in. Like, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And again, there's no other thing than spending 11 grand. Now I have to get my license so I can actually use this thing. Right? Like,
it's big, it's lit, it's the Saward Team. It's not like it's 3 letters. It's not just EXP, it's EXP.
Right.
Realty, the Saward Team.
Oh man. But again, it goes back to like what you said too, right? Like your friends in this business now because we all have this idea of like how we're just going to grind through this. We've all seen the blueprint. I get my broker's license, I open my own brokerage, right? We've all seen that's how it used to be, right?
Yeah.
And I think now technology is changing that, right? Like these cloud-based brokerages, right? EXP has changed this thought process on how to do this. I don't have my broker's license, right? And I can operate a team, and because I have brokers that back me up, right? I have brokers.
Wildly successful.
Yeah.
You're doing just fine.
Okay.
You don't. Okay. And here's the other part of that: getting your broker's license. It's not that you don't have the knowledge. You do.
Right. Yeah.
You know what? Also, this is so hilarious to me. I know people that have not put in the years of selling real estate, they have a broker's license. If you worked in mortgage or you worked in title for X number of years, those hours of service count as a credit towards broker's license. So I know people who have worked at a title company for 3-5 years and use those credits as credit towards hours of broker's licensing. And then they get their broker's license and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know. How do you write a deal? How do I structure this land contract? I didn't know that this was a legal thing that you're supposed to be aware of in selling real estate. And you're like, you didn't know it because you haven't sold any houses to
right.
give you that real world experience.
You haven't screwed it up enough to figure out.
Here we go. The theme of this talk, that you learn more from pain.
Right. Right.
And from screwing things up than you ever would from just constantly winning.
Yep. And again, that's one of the things I think that that you do very well too is you bring.
I screw up a lot.
Well, you did, because you screwed up a lot because you were doing 200 transactions a year. So yes, you screwed up a lot.
Yeah.
Because you probably could have done 250.
I could have. Yeah. I should have screwed up more.
But no, it's passing that knowledge on, right? Like I always say this all the time. Like, we've bumped our head on stuff a lot, right? Like, so let me show you how to not bump your head, right? Like, you don't need to bump your head. I've done it already. Here's how not to do it, and you do an excellent job of passing that knowledge out, right? And you provide value so much. Every Tuesday you have an event, right? Like every Tuesday you're giving massive value. And I think that's one of the things that people enjoy about you is like that you've done a lot of things, right? In this industry, you've built teams, you've sold a lot of houses, you've been on stages talking, you've done a lot of things. But now you're, and along the way, you've done it too, but now you're even more passing it out, right? And giving that information away. So kudos to you for giving that all away.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Giving it all away. Okay, a couple things. One, I feel, thank you for that compliment, but I feel that I haven't done a good enough job explaining what I've gone through or what I've learned in real estate. I don't feel I have. And I say that because I'm a newer recruit that joined my ecosystem. And I said, I made a comment to her. I said, yeah, my trainer at the gym is like, Michelle, you get on these agents that they're supposed to make their calls and they're supposed to stay on a schedule. I tell you what to eat, how many to go to the gym, and you're not doing it. And so this new recruit says to me, so let me get this straight. You're really good at dishing out advice, but not really doing it for yourself. And I go, oh, no, hold on. I'm a personal trainer. I've done it in real estate. I've just done it in the gym or eating right. Like, so I'm just the same as any new real estate agent when it comes to eating right and going to the gym. Like, look, this week I was like, sprinting. How about I walk for 3 miles instead of sprinting for 10 minutes? How about that? I don't want to, like, I'll negotiate it just like an agent that's like, make how many phone calls?
Right.
How about I do an open house instead? Like, like I'll negotiate that stuff because I don't have the payoff experience and the reward attached to it, or the accountability really attached to it in that way, or I don't have that desire and really want it in that way. But that's why I feel like I haven't done a good enough job explaining exactly what I did day in, day out. Like when I'm telling people you have to commit to making calls every day, it's because I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I jumped on Zoom and worked from home before it was cool to do it. I had role play partners. I had accountability partners. Mark Z and I had a bet about being in the office at 7:30 in the morning. I would meet my trainer at the gym at 5 a.m. Like, I did all that stuff. And I was the dumb one. I had the farthest drive in the winter to be at the office at 7:30 a.m. And we would lose $100 if we weren't on time. Me, Mark, Jim Arminiak, Larry Copey, like these names, might escape you, but they were in the office and we were playing a game. And so it's not that I haven't done that work. I've done that work. And so I'm trying to say to people what the formula is to climb that first mountain. And that's really important to understand, is that I climbed the first mountain, which is production and, sales. And now I'm climbing a second mountain, which is a totally different mountain. And that second mountain is now like more around recruiting and teams and paying it forward and sharing what I know. If you're trying to do those things when you're still climbing the first mountain, it's a lot to juggle.
Yep.
And so that's why, eXp Realty has this, oh, you're just a recruiting brokerage or whatever. And, I'm a new agent and I just want to focus on sales and I don't want to recruit. Then guess what? You don't have to recruit. Then don't do it.
Right.
It's a different game. Play the game you want to play, and win at that game. And then if you want to play a different game later, play a different game later. Like, yep. Look, it's like high school offers football and they offer basketball and they offer, you could swim.
Yeah. Yep. It's true. And like you said, there's levels to this, right? Like there's levels to this because if you're a new agent, right? And one of the things I always say is, as I'm talking to other agents out there, is one of the biggest things is my job is, right, as a leader of people, is I want you to sell more houses, right? If your goal is to sell more houses, how can I help you sell more houses, right? If your goal is to come in and build a team, how can I help you build a team, right? Like it goes off of whatever your goals are, right? And I always find it funny when people say they want to build a team, but they don't want to recruit. I'm like, well, how are you going to get anybody on your team then if you're not recruiting them, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. But again, it's like, how can I just help you sell more houses? And here's all the tools in our tool bag, right? Like we have this ginormous tool bag at eXp. We have so many things to offer that we don't sometimes even know what the heck they are, right? We have all these things, and it's funny, like we're on KGCI radio right now. At the same point, like, right? Like some agents I talk to, they're like, what's KGCI? They don't know what it is, right? But if we're not doing a good job as leaders in this company of spreading this out, then that's on us. But I think to your point, right? How can I show people how to sell more houses? And again, you have the story. you sold 200 houses in a year, right? You were stuck at that 192 to 196 year after year after year.
Mhm.
Some people are struggling to sell 10, Michelle.
Yeah,
You know?
I know. Yeah, I know. And God. And so I just when I hear you saying this, like, okay, you know, we want to teach people how to sell more houses. There's this piece that is absolutely true. Like, we don't want to just want to teach people to sell more houses because guess what? As a team leader, my hair is so bad this morning. Is that we don't
So's
want to
mine. It's just not cooperating.
It's not. Yeah, yeah. And so is that we want to teach people to sell more houses because as a team leader, certainly we benefit. But there's also this, and you get it too, because you're a coach, Jimmy. You get this when it clicks and that ragtag team starts to win and you see them have success and you get this like little happiness in your chest of like, yeah, like I'm gonna get choked up now. I'm just talking about it because I know that changes people's lives.
Yep.
You go from selling 10 houses to selling 20 houses, it's life changing. I was that person that was on an unemployment check. I had a mortgage. I had a car payment. I had no income coming in. I was living on credit card debt to make this thing go. I know that it changes lives. And if it wasn't for my broker at the time, Bob Curran, taking note that he had an unemployed 24-year-old showing up at the office every day like she had a real job to go to and committing 40 hours to it to say, let's introduce you to the Abdallahs, Dave and Al Abdallah. Thank you. Let me introduce you to them. There is no way, which is putting me in the right seat of being mentored. Yep. There is no way I would have been able to sustain and grow. Like, and so this is that second mountain pay it forward conversation that I'm talking about. Like, we're playing a different game and we're now in that phase of life where we have the capacity with the blinders off to be able to pay it forward. So yeah,
Wow.
but you're not going to get that kind of mentorship unless least showing up and committed, because time is precious. So is energy.
Man, it's like though it's like a deep conversation, but it seems like it should be so simple, right? It seems like that should just be so simple, right? If I think about this, one of the things you just said, like if I just showed up as an agent, as a new agent, or any agent at all, but if I just showed up and worked 40 hours a week,
yep.
What? I mean, you'd be in the top 1% of real estate agents in the world.
I was rookie of the year. No, I wasn't. I lost it to this guy, Nick, and I actually just sold his house for him because he got out of the business a while ago.
He didn't have the wherewithal.
He moved out of state and hung his license up. But yeah, I didn't make rookie of the year. I did like 20 deals my first year, not 25 or something, and he beat me. And I was like, but yeah, just treat it like I was so Forrest Gump in real estate. Like I just was like, oh, this is a job. I was offered a job. Okay. I'm going to put on my suit and I'm going to go in at 9 and whatever happens, I'll just leave at 5.
Yeah. Like that's the funny thing is, again, just being, because then you're around the people, right, that are doing things. You're around the people and I tell agents this all the time, like, again, it's different, right? The times are different. The offices, we talk about offices all the time, right? Like, do people actually come in the office? Do they not? But again, be in mastermind groups, surround yourself with the right people, have real estate conversations with people that are doing better than you. And when you start to do that stuff, then like take the blinders off. You're not the best real estate agent in the world. Right? Like take the blinders off get some advice. Like I love getting advice, right? I love getting advice. I love when people are like, hey, I'm doing this now. Check it out. And I always check it out. Always.
Before we jumped on this call, we were talking about Nick Krem. Yeah. And you said every time I talk to that dude, I learn something new. And we were fired up like, oh my God, what he's teaching right now is crazy. It's so good. And we were excited about that. There's no phase at all in real estate, no level, no different, where you say, that's it, I've done it all, I'm good. And if you think you found that phase, I would stay away from those people.
Yeah, if you're around people that said they know it all and they're not willing to learn anything, I would run.
Good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would run. And I think that's one of the coolest things. And we've got about 3 minutes left, but one of the things, and you had said this earlier, like when you first got your license, you talked to different brokers, whatever. But what's your advice to a new agent right now? Like if you had to do this all over again right now, Michelle, we're starting over. Here's your new license. You're new a real estate agent. What's the first thing you would do?
I mean, I'm going to take that number one. I would just encourage them to show up as often as they can. So I don't care. I mean, if there's a physical location you can go to be around people, fine, great, do it. If it means jumping on masterminds, jumping on Zooms, there's something called Phone Warriors, $37, $39 a month or whatever. It's a prospecting group every day. You need to put yourself in position to be on Zoom, on masterminds, physically in person around agents doing business. And by that, I mean, just go to the happy hours. I mean, be where the work is happening. Go to open houses. I tell all new agents, if you don't have appointments, you need to be previewing 3 houses a day minimum to learn the market and to learn pricing and to learn strategy. And while you're there, video the damn houses and put it on social media while you're there. That you're learning this stuff and putting it out there. Doing open houses. My God, I did a lot of open houses. Ask to ride along and to shadow people on their appointment, because let me tell you, when I bring a new agent with me on an appointment, guess what the seller sees? They see that I am put in a position where I'm training somebody new. It puts me in a greater position of authority. So for agents that say, no, I don't want people to ride along with me. Do you have any idea how you're cutting yourself off at the knees by not allowing people to ride along with you? You are. But that new agent, to be successful, is to just constantly, can I go along with you showing houses? Can I follow you on that listing appointment? Can I just listen? Literally, I've had agents go with me on listing appointments. I can drop names that went on with me on one listing appointment ever and said, got it. And they're wildly successful now.
Yeah.
One damn appointment. That's all it
took. one appointment. But again, it's again, because you've done it so many times, right? So many listing appointments. And so if again, you're giving this away and you're giving this knowledge away, and we appreciate you giving the knowledge away.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad we did this. This is so much fun.
Oh, and we got to get you back. I told you this hour was going to go fast. But Michelle, where can we find you? Social media wise, I know you're downriver.
Yeah.
Where else?
I mean, you can
find you?
Seriously, my Instagram is Michelle L. Don't forget the L. Saward, and you can find me there. You can just Google my name, Michelle Saward Realtor. I pop up. You can my cell phone number. Text me. It's the best. Yeah, happy to help.
Love it. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Breakfast Clubbers were on. We had a lot of good audience today, so I appreciate it. That was because of the quality of guests we had. So I thank you very much, Michelle, for joining me. Guys, don't forget, download, subscribe, like the links, and check us out every week with the Elite Real Estate Podcast. We'll be back next week.